Have you noticed the new column type, top of search impression share, but don't know exactly what to do with that? Well, today we're going to talk all about it. Why it's important, when to use it, and more. All that on the Sunken Stone channel. Welcome to the Sunken Stone channel, where brands, agencies, and DIYers share tips, tricks, and tutorials on how to sell better on Amazon. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll get tons of awesome content about Amazon, how to sell better on it. Who doesn't want that? It's really helpful. And with that, let's get started. So in case you haven't noticed, Amazon's always putting out new, whether it's column types, advertising types, settings, options, features. Amazon's always putting out new stuff, and they don't necessarily tell you like what's going on or how to use it. They kind of give you the little sort of question marks right next to it, but oftentimes that doesn't really help. So I'm going to show you why exactly top of search is awesome, why I include it in my columns, and why you should do that too right away, and what sort of actionable things you can do with this kind of information. So we're looking at a set of campaigns here. So this applies to sponsored brand, the banner, the top text ads, not the video, as well as sponsored product ads. So both of these have top of search impressions. You don't always get that top search bar when you launch sponsored brand text ads. Sometimes you get lower placements or side placements. You can set it up to where your multiplier is super low on those and you pretty much only get the top, which is actually an advisable strategy. So that's a nifty little hack that you may only get here. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone else talk about that, honestly. So top of search impression share, what does that mean? So if we go quickly to Amazon.com and search shoes, we get, this is the sponsored brand ad, this is the top, and then these, oh gosh, not gonna show us. Let's try running shoes. Yep, so it's sponsored. This is the top of search. If you keep scrolling, eventually you'll get to the point where you have other sponsored spots, but they're not top search. So the reason why these perform way worse, one, because they see them less often, and two, because you get a lot of accidental clicks. So the top of search, most people are like, ooh, I want to see that. But sometimes as they scroll down, like the likelihood that they're just shopping around or they're just clicking on everything goes up a lot. So oftentimes consumers will just be like, top search, that one has a lot of reviews, looks good, looks like what I need, click buy if they're doing a bunch of shopping. So top of search, definitely the place you want to be. In fact, Amazon knows this, which is why they give you the metric on how often you're appearing at that top search spot. So right now I'm looking at several campaigns, which are all blurred out, but we see a big spread. So we have some campaigns where less than 5% of the impressions we get are the top search. We have other campaigns where it's over 50%. So ideally, it totally depends on the campaign type. If you want to know more about placement settings and when to sort of modify them, you can check out this video. I talk all about that. It's going to be really helpful for you. So let's say you have a campaign. So here we're looking at, I call it a lift campaign, but that's basically where you've chosen keywords that you're like, I'm willing to go over my profit threshold by a lot, just to make sure I'm always visible, because they're really, really relevant non-brand keywords. I always want to maintain those. Those are the ones that I'm winning on. I want to keep that up. So this, I'm at 38.79%. So to me, that could be higher if I'm really, really gunning for those top spots. So I'm going to look at my placement modifiers. I have this top of first page placement multiplier set all the way at 150. Despite that, my top of search sales ACoS is actually lower than my product page ACoS. The rest of search is doing pretty good, but that's just because the CPC is lower. So truly, this might even tell me you could go higher. That 38.71% means that we could potentially be getting more traffic there. Now, granted, you have a lot more traffic that's available for the product page. It's unlikely that you'll ever see a sponsored product campaign go over 50% top of search, unless you have it. One strategy you could take, super low bids, crank it all the way up to 900%, and then you would pretty much only get top of search impression share that way. But you're missing out 32% ACoS. Those are cheap sales. You're eliminating that. If you take that strategy, not necessarily something I would recommend, but definitely worth trying if you're going to say I have the rest of my campaigns that are willing to bid on all the different placements, but I have my top of search that I have a certain budget going to that, and I know we're going to get the top spots. However, let's say you're just browsing through your general campaigns, you're wondering like whether or not it's something that you've actually bid up, or if you've messed with the top of search placement. So there was one I picked out. Yes, so right here, this is our performance campaign. So it's exact match keywords, things we've identified. I see here that we're at less than 5% of top of search, and we're at 44% ACOS. I know we can go up there, so I'm gonna click in, go to placements. We're at 65%, which is pretty high, but we're still 37% ACOS, top search, 150 here and 91 here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just put that at 85%. 20% bumps is what I like. Once again, placement settings video, check that out. I go into more detail there, but that little detail of I'm getting less than 5%, check that, and I can see that I could use more spend at that placement. Top of search is going to let you know that. It also, so campaigns that are performing well, you know you want to spend more, ACOS is low, and you see that top of search that is less than 5%. That would be an immediate signal of like, maybe I don't even need to go in and update all these bids. Maybe I can just crank that top of first page placement setting up. Maybe that alone is going to provide me the lift I need. You're going to save yourself a bunch of time, and potentially you're going to do better for your account than you would if you would have spent all that time adjusting bids. So save yourself time, get better placements. Top of search is going to let you know. Alternatively, let's say you had a campaign that you were at, like here we're at 36%. So if our ACOS was at 100% and we were at 36% top of search, that would let us know, even though we're getting pretty much the best placements here, we're still not, our ACOS is way higher than it needs to be. Maybe that means that you need to select keywords better. Maybe that means you need more reviews on your product. Like if your top of search looks good, but your sales are still weak, that's going to give you the signal that maybe there's other things you need to do to improve on your campaigns themselves. Ever since this has come out, I'm going to leave it on my column list, which little tiny tip that I'm going to provide for the people watching this video and who have made it this far, which I appreciate if you have. But the columns that I use are impressions, top search, clicks, click-through rate, spend, CPC, or not orders. You can if you want, if that's just sort of how you visualize, but sales to me more important, and then ACOS. I don't do ACOS, and then the new to brand stuff is nice, but like it doesn't really tell me a lot personally. Those all together are just going to tell you a lot about the campaign itself. If you want me to make explain the columns and how I view those sort of things, if you want me to make that video, please drop a little like thumbs up, or please make that video or something to that effect in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Always looking to satisfy the fans as far as like what they want from a video. And with that, that's pretty much all you need to know about top of search impression share. So there you have it, everyone. Hopefully that video was helpful. If you want to learn more about just campaigns in general, please check out the Amazon advertising hierarchy. It's a PDF of the campaigns that we set up first, as well as the naming convention. Really awesome reference material for setting up campaigns. Going to help you keep everything nice and clean and organized. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. You're going to get a lot of awesome content that's going to teach you how to sell better on Amazon. If you want more tips on how to reduce your ACOS, check out this video. It's our 7 tips to reduce campaign-wide ACOS. Really helpful stuff. You could be saving thousands of dollars just from that video view alone. And with that, happy optimizing, everyone.